Madam President, it's a pleasure to welcome you to Jerusalem.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to pronounce this imperfectly. Dobrodozhli.
Hvala. Thank you.
I gather that was okay.
That was excellent.
Thank you. I know that this is your first visit abroad, one of your first visits abroad, and your first visit to Israel. So welcome on both occasions. I think there's a significance in your decision to come here so soon after being elected president. I know it reflects your personal commitment to strengthening the ties between Israel and Croatia, and I want you to know that I share this same commitment. We have a good friendship, but I think there's a lot of untapped potential in strengthening our relations. I'm sure your visit will serve as a catalyst to expanding our cooperation in two fields. One, to enhance our political dialogue, but second, also to energize our economies, and we can do a lot together. We have many entrepreneurs, many ideas, many interests in technology and in every other field, and we're prepared to discuss it with Croatia. We're prepared to discuss it with you, and we hope that this visit will help build a strong relationship between Israel and Croatia. Madam President, there is seldom a visit that occurs here in the last few months and weeks that I don't speak about the event that could shape our world, I fear, not for the better. I'm talking about the deal between the P5+1 and Iran. Now, we're told that the only alternative to this bad deal is war, but the very opposite is true. By strengthening the terrorist state of Iran, this deal makes war not less likely, but more likely. We're told that this agreement will prevent Iran from getting nuclear weapons. Well, that's exactly what was said about the deal with North Korea. And today, North Korea has about a dozen nuclear weapons, and it's on its way to get many more. This deal paves Iran's path to an entire nuclear arsenal within a decade or so. And because at that point, Iran will be free of any constraints of producing as many centrifuges as they want, and they can enrich as much uranium as they want. And this will pose a formidable threat to the peace of the world. I believe also that the expectation that Iran will become a military nuclear power will be enough in itself to spark a nuclear arms race in the Middle East, the most volatile region on earth. And how will that end? Second, with the almost immediate easing of sanctions, billions of dollars, $100 to $150 billion right away in the first year, but then hundreds of billions of dollars will flow into Iran's coffers. And that will fund Iran's terror machine and its war-making machine. That's more Iranian aggression in Iraq, in Syria, in Lebanon, in Libya, in Yemen, and elsewhere. That's more Iranian ballistic missiles. That's more terrorism from the Revolutionary Guard, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Islamic Jihad. I believe a better deal is still possible. And in any case, no agreement is better than this bad agreement. And I repeat, this agreement doesn't prevent war. It will make war, even nuclear war, more likely. Iran's president called the Security Council's adoption of this deal an historic event. Well, he's right. It's a historic mistake. A better deal that would tie the lifting of restrictions on Iran's nuclear program and would roll back Iran's nuclear infrastructure, that such a deal would be tied to ending Iran's aggression and terrorism. That's the real alternative. Madam President, I'm sure we have a lot more to discuss, but I want you to know that you are received here as a great friend. You share my desire to advance peace, security, and prosperity. You come to Israel in friendship. We welcome you in that same friendship. Welcome to Jerusalem.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister, for the warm welcome here to Israel. Indeed, this is my first visit to Israel as President of Croatia and one of my first visits abroad. This morning, I was honored to be present at the official ceremony where our own Branko Lustig, the producer of the motion picture Schindler's List, dedicated and presented officially his Oscar, the statuette to Yad Vashem. Yad Vashem is a place of great feelings for me, and I had the honor to bow to the 6 million victims of the Shoah, of the Holocaust, but also to the righteous among the nations who were on the right side of the history and who were a light in those dark times, and 111 of whom come from Croatia, and I believe that a lot more will be also bestowed that title. We have a vibrant Jewish community in Croatia. They're not big, but they're very active. One of the oldest, as a matter of fact, the second oldest synagogue in Europe is in Dubrovnik. It still stands there. And I hope that our Jewish community will be another bridge with Israel in order to extend all sorts of cooperation between our two countries. As you rightly mentioned, Mr. Prime Minister, we need to do more in order to expand our relations. There are so many areas where we can cooperate, from security issues to energy, which is important for both countries, to the economy. And I see special opportunities in agriculture, in the energy sector, in high-tech industry, and in many other areas. We also share the Mediterranean coast, the coast of the Mediterranean, the responsibility for peace and security in the area. So I believe that we can and must do more in order to bring the two shores of the Mediterranean closer together. We share the same heritage, the same similarities. We have currently the same problems of dealing with security issues such as illegal migrations and ISIL and Daesh. But we also have opportunities ahead of us, especially economic cooperation, but also a more extensive cooperation in the fields of culture, in the field of science, scientific exchanges, and of course we certainly hope that more Israelis will come to Croatia as tourists. We would like to see an expansion of cooperation in tourism, and of course more Israeli investment in Croatia. And I have to say that one of the most significant investments in Croatia so far was Teva, that purchased Pliva, which is one of our best and foremost pharmaceutical companies and industries. Of course, we very much follow the peace process in the Middle East. I truly wish you peace and security. With respect to Iran, we fully support the use of nuclear energy in for peaceful purposes. Of course, we have to be very vigilant and cautious. We need strong implementation and verification measures, and we will be monitoring that very closely. With respect to the Middle East peace process, we support the efforts of the international community to reach lasting peace and security in your region as well. We support the efforts of the international community for the continuation of the Israeli-Palestinian dialogue, a two-state solution where Israel has the right to peace and security, and we believe that Palestine has the right to state and the quality of life. And in the end, Mr. Prime Minister, let me reassure you that in Croatia and in me personally, you have a strong friend, ally, in the European Union and in NATO and in global relations as well.
That's much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. This is Theodore Herzl, who was our George Washington.